Okay, so we're gonna do some little flimsy stitches from Spirit. They're $6.99. I'm gonna put them on my arm in this area. I've already cleaned my arm and I shaved the spot where I want the stitches to go so that during the removal, I don't pull out any hair. But I see that there's a little spot that just doesn't look super great. So I'm gonna take my cuticle scissors and I'm just gonna trim it really quick. Just like that. Then I'm gonna take my Spirit gum and I'm gonna put it all over the back of the stitches. And that is gonna help it adhere to my arm. There's a few spots that need to be glued down a little bit more. So now that I see them a little better, I can go ahead and do that. I'm actually gonna use my cuticle scissor, or my little manicure set, to help me hold it down while it dries so that I'm not getting my fingers super sticky. Keeps trying to lift up, but you just keep going over it. And obviously this doesn't match my arm super well. They don't make prosthetics in a variety of colors. So I am gonna add a little bit of my own personal foundation once this is all stuck down to help that look a little bit more natural. Obviously this isn't a super high quality piece, so it can't look super perfect, but it can look a lot better. Okay, so I'm gonna start trying to put this piece down. Just hold it down with my fingers. I'm gonna blow just a little bit since I've already got some of it stuck down. I don't want it to lift and I want it to dry a little bit faster. Still needs a little bit more Spirit gum, but we're getting there. It's almost done lifting. I'm gonna put a little bit of Spirit gum on the outside since there's just a couple little flaps that don't want to stick down. And once it's on there, it doesn't look too bad, but it's just the process of getting it to stick. Okay, so I've got most of it dried. I used a blow dryer to speed it up. I have a couple seams that don't want to lay down, so I'm gonna just use my liquid latex on a sponge. And I'm gonna go around it just like that. And I'm gonna take a little cotton ball, give it some fluffy bits. Just play with it, see how you like it. I want mine to look kind of like it was infected. It's scabbed up around it. So I don't mind it looking like that. Now, cotton balls are a little bit hard to get to stick down, so just play with them. But that's gonna give it a little bit more of a realistic texture. And I like that. So I'm gonna keep going. Usually I wouldn't use my fingers too much, but since it's on myself, I don't really mind. I've only got one hand currently, so it's kind of messy, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna keep going, get it to stick. I'm liking that a lot. And try your different methods for getting stuff to stick. Try not to be as messy as me. I always clean my area, not only where I'm gonna be working, but my little workstation, because I always make a big mess. So I always clean it before and really good after. I'm sure you noticed that there's liquid latex all over my table. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over some of this. Marcus is playing at the windows. Just gonna keep playing with that texture. Really like that. And in some places you can do a little bit more, some places you can do a little bit less, whatever you think looks the best. These are just dollar store cotton balls. And I think they work pretty dang well. I'm just gonna apply the little bit of latex I need left directly onto my arm this time. And that has really helped hide those ugly seams. Okay, now I'm just kind of going over everything I just put on there, patting it down. I'm also going to blow dry this to speed up the process. I see one little spot, still needs a little more, there we go. And this is just really gonna help with that nasty, infected, gross texture. And I'm really liking how that's coming out. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit. I'm gonna blow dry this, throw away some things, clean off my fingers since I'm being really messy. So I went through and I dried everything. There was a couple spots where I felt like there was too much cotton that I hadn't really noticed before. So I just took my tweezers and took it off just a little bit. But I'm pretty happy with that. Looks pretty nasty. I'm gonna take another sponge. This one is clean, there's no latex on it, with my own foundation. It's just a powder finish, oil-free. I'm not gonna use very much. Just a little bit. And I'm just gonna go through, try and make that match up my skin tone a little bit better. I'm going up onto the prosthetic, all down the cotton. I'm actually even gonna come up here where there's some shine. The cotton is pretty absorbent, so you might have to go through with a tiny bit more. I'm hoping that's enough. If there's a few little white spots, that's okay, because you're really not gonna see those. Okay, so that's kind of how that looks right now. I'm gonna go through with this little Ben Nye death wheel. And I'm gonna be using these colors the most, this green and this purple. I'm just gonna use the same sponge. I'm gonna go over the back. And I want it to be infected and gross, so here comes that green. I'm pushing it down harder in some spots so that it will stick a little bit better, and then I'm going easier on it in some other locations. To help get rid of that shine a little bit more, I'm gonna be using this natural set Colorless Powder from Ben Nye. And I'm just going to tap it onto one of my brushes. A little bit of blood on there, no big deal. So I'm going through. That's gonna give it a matte appearance. Okay, now with the same sponge, just gonna keep going with it. I want some more purple tones, because I want it to look bruised as well. Just do your best to blend that. A little more purple up here. Down here. I'm using the bottom of the sponge, which gives it a hard edge, so then I'm coming up with the top of the sponge, using that to blend it. You can still see a little bit of the line, but we're gonna cover that with some blood and some other colors as well. It's looking pretty gross, which is what we want. So if you don't have something like the Ben Nye palette, which a lot of people obviously don't, just have that laying around their house, you can get one of these. It's just like one of those Halloween kids cream palettes. I obviously use this quite a bit. The black, the brown, the red, and the purple. I haven't really touched any of the other colors, but I haven't really needed to. But this works pretty much just the same. So that is there. I'm gonna go in with also just some of my own eyeshadow. This is the Rock Nudes by Maybelline. I'm pretty sure I got it at Walmart. And then a CoverGirl True Naked. I want some more purples and some browns. I'm just gonna go in. This is a brown. I don't need too much, but I'm just gonna go over a few little spots. Give it some more depth. Then I'm gonna go in with my purple. Kinda just blend this out here. A couple little spots down here over the green. And I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't need too much. I'm just gonna go over a few little spots in here. I like to use paint brushes to get some of the really fine details. This is just a number 2 from Craft Smart. It's not anything special, something that we got from Walmart. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get the black out of this cream palette here. And black creates a lot of depth, so I'm just gonna go in. It's gonna make it look deeper. Doesn't have to be perfect. Never seen a wound that is. Just get those last few little spots. I'm also gonna go in and get some more purple out of the same palette. And just kind of move that around. You give it a little more to look at. This is also going to create some more depth. Purples are pretty natural colors for bruising. And now I'm going to do just a little bit of red. I got more on it than I needed. I'm actually not doing that much because I'm going to go in with my fake blood here in just a moment. But that already looks a little more realistic. It looks deeper, looks even a little bit whiter. I'm gonna go over, actually gonna get some more black and go over some of the little stitches. They've got a lot going on them. So just to help liven up some of their color. Where they got a little too much powder, a little too much foundation. Okay. So, I actually like to make a lot of my own blood. So this is just cornstarch, or corn syrup, sorry, and food coloring. So I'm gonna shake it up real good. Pour some into the lid. I really like that color. It's red food coloring and blue food coloring. I'm gonna use the same brush that I've been using and start to go in there. I'm gonna bring it out into some of these little ridges and valleys a little bit. Put the lid back on there. I'm a pretty big fan of scab blood, so I'm going to take my scab blood and this little palette that I use and add a little bit, not to the whole thing. I'm gonna bring it out over here a little. I got this scab blood actually at Savers, but they sell it at Spirit and Walmart currently. And when this dries, it does look scabby and gross. And we're just about done. I'm gonna use my well-used Stipple sponge. I'm gonna use the same blood I used earlier. Just gonna get some on there. I'm gonna be pretty generous because it'll soak in. And I'm gonna go around out here. I want it to look super gross. And I think that looks pretty good. So that's it. It's pretty well stuck on there. That'll all dry and look pretty awesome.
You gonna say goodbye?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what you're doing. Goodbye.